Hi guys, welcome back to my XPS guide. Now I'm gonna review King Behemy. So let's start from his stats. So what I can say about his stats is his base health is amazing. Okay, 8,000, much higher compared to Gabran or other Neo Vision Takers. This matter much because remember this value will be multiplied by your boost. Okay. And like you can see, he also get 200% health boost compared to Gabran, who only get 120%, so pretty good, right? Yes, it is good, but if you take a look on the defense stats, I must say I'm quite disappointed. First, he has lower base defense compared to Gabran and Snow, okay? And it's not a small difference, so I can say his advantage of health kind of overshadowed by this lower base defense. And like you can see that he only get 80% defense stats boost. Okay, so it's low because remember he is a tanker. Okay, and I think there are physical attackers who has better defense boost compared to King Behemy, but that's perfectly understandable because he gets 100% true dual wield or 250% true double hand shield on his equipment spirit and defense. So yes, I perfectly understand why they cannot give his defense stats higher than this, because even with these stats you will see later that after equipment he still has insane defense stats in the end. Okay, so his normal and brave ship form are not that different. The main different thing is on normal form, he counter the attack with 10% health and MP recovery to himself and 10% MP to other characters. But on Brave Ship form, he refill limit burst gauge instead of those stats. Okay, so which one is better? I cannot say, okay, because they are useful but not defining value in my opinion. And the good thing as a tank is he has 70% draw attack, so he is much easier to max if you want to build 100% provoke build. And yes, he gets permanent 20% physical mitigation, which is good, but it is easily overwritten by physical mitigation buff on today's standard. But I think the best defensive feature is first, he has 30% physical evasion. It is ordinary, but if you equip him with his innate equipment, his Trust Mastery Word and Vision card, you already get 60% physical evasion. You don't need to max it because his defense value is insane. And his magic evasion 50%. Wow, 50% is very high. Remember, you cannot stack magic evasion on this game, so this one 50% is insanely good. Okay, and for fatal damage protection, it is 3 times. So wow, I can say it is insane. And maybe the best feature is physical preemptive cover, but I don't think it is that useful at this point. Maybe it is useful for the arena, but for trial, I cannot remember where you need this. From what I can remember, you need magic cover, preemptive magic cover on some battle, but for this physical, I cannot remember. Okay, so that's all for the stats. Now let's talk about the normal form. So let's talk about physical cover first. The chance and mitigation are the same for Gabran and King Behemy. But for Snow, he is the lowest with only 60 to 75% mitigation. But again, Snow has the longest duration, 5 turns. King Behemy gives you 250% defense buff, but for Gabran, it gives him defense break resist. Which physical cover is the best? In my opinion, it depends on the situation. But on this comparison case, I prefer King Behemy. Okay? Because that means he is able to buff himself when there is no buffer on your party. In fact, he can combine this with his ailments and stats break resist buff for everyone. Something that Gabran cannot do. So yes, maybe I'm biased, but Here is my argument to back them up, okay? So take the info with a grain of salt. And as for Provoke, it gives him 50% physical and magic mitigation against demons, which is nice because remember, both Gabron and Snow don't have niche protection. Sure, it is not useful on general situation, but when you fight demon, he is superior. And for spammable self-general mitigation, it is something that he kinda lack compared to other two tankers. Behemy only gets 50% general mitigation. Gabron can get 75%. For Snow, he is the king because he can get 75 to 90% mitigation. Okay, remember I said spammable. If you count the grandest, King Behemy able to get 90% general mitigation too, but yes, from grandest ability you can only use it 2 times. Again, it may be enough as long as the battle doesn't last long. That's for tanking capabilities. For support, I really cannot compare them because it depends on the situation. But if you take a look at the general situation, I can say that Behemy is again the best and Snow is the worst, okay, in terms of support abilities. Don't argue with me, okay? Don't say Snow able to become magical tanker. Don't say that, okay? Please. I don't say your Snow is useless, but hear me out. First, King Behemy able to give all allies 250% defense, spirit buff, and 200% attack and magic. These are useful if you cannot carry a real buffer to the party. Okay, this buff also gives you 80% all elemental resist. Sure, Gabron has not 100% fire and dark resist buff, but remember, Behemy's buff is for all elements. All elements. You can debate till the end of the time. Oh, 100% can negate all the damage. Yes, I know. But again, the answer is obvious. It depends on the situation. But yeah, again, I prefer King Behemy because it can be used in more situations. Okay, and don't forget this buff also gives you 5000 health barrier. Another thing I like about him is he able to give 4 AoE physical evasion. It is one of the best physical evasion buffs on the game. As an extra, he also able to imbue all allies with earth element and improve the earth damage by 20%. So yes, very nice on situation where you use earth element like dark vision. So Gabron and Snow cannot do that, right? So that's why I prefer King Behemy. Finally, his limit burst is really good. This is another 50% AoE damage mitigation buff like other tankers limit burst, but again, it gives you best AoE physical cover on the game. The chance is 100%. Sure, I know 80% is already almost perfect, okay? It only fails on unlucky time, but again, this limit burst guarantee you don't mess up on the long battle. The damage mitigation is also a little bit better than your normal cover, and remember, you also get 300% defense and spirit buff to all allies. This is the best defensive buff on the game from what I can remember, okay, 300%, because yes, Nicole only able to give you like 280%, right? But the main problem is you must max this limit burst level as soon as possible because it requires 80 limit burst crystals at level 1, which is insane if you want to maintain this limit burst every 3 turns. Luckily, on the maximum level, you only need 40 limit burst crystals, which is easy because he has 100% Fossil ABV rate passive. So that's for the normal form. Now for the Brave Shift. On Brave Shift form, his chaining capabilities increase. On normal form, he only able to chain with Bolting Strike, but on this form, you can chain with Mirror of Equity, Stardust Ray, and Avalanche Kick. each has their own side effect. So it may be worth using even when you don't want to change. He still has his AoE cover too, so you don't need to worry switching back to normal form to protect your party. He loses his provoke, but it shouldn't be big problem since he has 70% draw attack on his passive. His limit burst is also good on this form because it imperil Earth resist by 130%. So after imbuing, you can get the meta number for imperil. Nice, right? And the 10 physical negation is also useful because yes, it still works even when the enemy has high accuracy. Some of you say that, oh, it's useless because you basically only tanking 2 strong attack. Well, not useless, okay? 2 strong attack. That's really good, okay? Maybe by neglecting that 2 AoE attack, he can survive the rest of the attack. So, sure, it's amazing. I mean, and remember, this LB also gives you 15,000 health barrier, which is insane because wow, he already has insane amount of health. Okay, and if you take a look on the damage modifier, it is also higher than Snow Limit Burst, a tank who is supposed to deal damage. Okay, so I don't say Snow is useless, okay? I'm perfectly aware that Snow able to become magical tank and he can be useful on situation where you need to switch back between physical and magic cover. But again, I'm here to compare the physical cover aspect. Okay? So that's all for his browser form. Now let's talk about equipment. So for his equipment, I use FFBEquip.com. So I use maximum physical efficient health. So what's that mean? It means that I built him so he can the best survivability against physical damage. So they balance between health and defense value. Okay, so this is what I get. And again, really sorry if I'm wrong, but based on FFB equip, maybe you know better setup, but based on the setup that's shown on FFB equip, King Behemy is the king. Okay, he can get like 4,823 defense and 45,000 health at the same time. But when I do the same calculation for Gabron and Snow, the result, like you can see, Gabron and Snow only get about 4,236 health. So again, maybe I'm wrong on set up the equipment, but again, like I said, I use maximize feature on FFB equip. Okay, so it's clear that who is the superior tank at this point. Okay, so yes, you can call me, oh, you are biased because you have King Behemy and you don't have the Bron. Yes, you are correct. Okay, maybe I'm biased, but based on that FFB equip calculation, it is the result. This is simply what I want to show you, okay? Okay, and remember, if you want to deal more damage, then you can equip him with Savior of Soul Lightning, but again, he is not a real damage dealer, so why do you want to do that? Okay, better focus on his defense and health so he can become the best tank you can ever get. Okay, so that's all for the equipment. So my conclusion for King Behemy. So yes, like I said, sorry, this will trigger some of you a lot, okay? This will trigger, I hate this guide4gamers.com, okay? His review is bad, and now he calls King Behemy is the best tank on the game. Yes, I know you may say that, okay? But again, I already show you why I think about this and show you the equipment section. If you don't agree with me, then I cannot say anything. Okay, his support and chaining capabilities are simply superior compared to Gabron and Snow. And his defense stats, again, really sorry if I'm wrong, but based on my calculation, it is quite huge difference. 4,800 versus 4,200. So that's like 15 to 20% better, right? Okay, but you can say, but I already have Snow, I don't need to have him. Yes, you absolutely correct. Okay, that's all I want to say. Okay, I don't make this review to bad mouth about previous tank. I can say that if you already have Gabron and Snow, you really don't need King Behemy, because those two are still perfectly good to tackle the trials. Maybe you want to save for upcoming physical tanker. Okay, I don't know the name, okay, but I haven't taken a look on the skill, so I cannot comment at this point. And some of you also say that Gabron X+2 abilities are good. Sorry, I don't mean to say anything or whatever, okay, but first, I play Japan version. I play global version. I don't play Japan version. Okay, sure, it is nice to anticipate X+2 abilities. But at this point, let's face the fact. We should already have obtained X+2 abilities for older heroes like Neo Vision Rain. But what we get? We don't even get Crown Prince Noctis. So I'm really not sure what Gumi does here, okay? Okay, so again, maybe on the next week they're gonna make Gabron X+2 available. Maybe, okay? But yes, the point is here, if you don't have Neo Vision Tanker at this point, what I can say is, yes, get him, okay? Because he is really good, and based on my calculation here, he is better than Gabron. But if you already have Gabron and Snow, you don't need to have him, because those two are still good. I think he is kind of like to overkill at this point, but yes, that's all I want to say, okay? And for his Trust Master Reward and STMR, I can say you don't need them that much, okay? Because they are kind of niche, only useful for tanker and himself. And like I said, if you already have Gabron, you don't need to pull him for his Trust Master Reward and STMR. So yeah, I think that's all you need to know for Vision card. Again, it's kind of foolish to pull him only for Vision card. So it's just so Vision card for tank. Every Neo Vision tank comes with their best Vision card for themselves. So I think you don't need to have this. Okay, so I think that's all you need to know about King Behemy. Congratulations if you have him, and please, sorry if this review sounds too biased, but yes, here it is what it is. Oh, I don't know how to say it, okay, but yes, I try to be as objective as possible. So sure, in the past I also really want Gabron. I hope getting Gabron, but after getting him, I can safely say that I don't need him anymore, because I think King Behemy is superior. Okay, so call me BS, whatever, but what I hope this review is useful for you. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more Final Fantasy Private XPS Guide. Bye bye guys!